hear this, but if you didn't grow up in a small town, you might not know there are rules. Nobody explains them to you. There's no handbook. There's no orientation. You just mess up one time, and now everybody knows you don't know how to act. And the crazy thing is, you might not know you did anything wrong, but somewhere, somebody already said, "Did y'all see that?" I remember the first time I realized that small towns do not play. You know how you'll just be driving, minding your business, you pass somebody on the road, and you don't wave. Because maybe you didn't see them, but baby, they saw you. Not only did they see you, they remembered it. Before you know it, you'll be hearing stuff like, "I passed her on the road and she didn't even wave at me, didn't even lift a finger, just dead behind the eyes." And now, that's your reputation. You're the one that don't wave. And that's the thing about small towns. It ain't that people are mean, it's just everybody remembers. And in a small town, everybody's got a file. Now, you ain't just Betty Sue no more. Now you're Betty Sue who didn't wave that one time, or Betty Sue who brought store-bought dip, or Betty Sue who left before cleanup. It follows you. And it don't just stop there. Driving in a small town ain't just transportation, it's social interaction. You gotta wave, you gotta slow down, you gotta acknowledge people, because if you don't, they will notice. You don't even have to know who it is, but you gotta wave. It could be your cousin, your old teacher, somebody's uncle, some man named Ronnie that everybody knows for no reason. You wave. And if you don't wave, somebody's gonna say, "Oh, well, she thinks she's something now." No, ma'am, I was just changing the radio station, but apparently I'm arrogant now. And don't let it be something big, like a funeral procession. Lord, have mercy. "He didn't even pull over for the funeral procession. I said, Lord, strike him down gently." But seriously, you don't just keep driving. That ain't just rude, that's personal. And the funeral procession rule is not up for debate. You see headlights, hazards, cars lined up, you pull over. I don't care if you're late. I don't care if your fries are getting cold. I don't care if your kid needed to be at ball practice 10 minutes ago. You pull over and act like you got some home training. And I ain't even exaggerating. That stuff will get brought up years later. "Ain't that the one that didn't pull over?" Now, let me tell you where people really mess up. Food. It could be a baby shower, a barbecue, a potluck. People think that's just casual. Nope, that is a test of character. And you can tell everything about somebody by the food they bring and how they act when they get there. Food is where small town people get real serious, because you can't just bring anything. You gotta know your lane. Now, if you don't cook, that's okay. Bring cups, bring ice, bring plates, bring a 2-liter. But don't bring a dish that's some experiment off Pinterest and think we're all gonna risk our stomachs for your journey. And don't bring something weird and hover around everybody waiting for a compliment. If nobody touches it, just accept that quietly. Like this one time, this lady brought deviled eggs with no paprika. Now, I don't know what she thought was gonna happen, but somebody told her, "Baby, just take that back to the car." 'Cause nobody's gonna act like that's acceptable. Deviled eggs need paprika. It's not decoration, it's respect. Without paprika, they look unfinished, like they got dressed but forgot their earrings. You can't just bring pale eggs to a table full of church ladies and think nobody's gonna notice. Then you got people that fix their plate and don't leave nothing for the people behind them. You'll have the ladies looking up like, "Lord, I know you see this." 'Cause what kind of mindset is that? And then you got this one right here. She drank the last of the sweet tea and didn't make more. Didn't even offer. That ain't a mistake. That's a decision, and nobody trusts it. And see, the sweet tea pitcher is a community responsibility. You don't just empty it and set it back down like it's going to refill itself. That's how we know your mama didn't stay on you enough. Now, church is a whole different situation. See, people think church is where you go to be good. Nope. Church is where people go to watch you be good and see if you're faking it. Like Seton. Church has more rules than the DMV, they just ain't written down. And the pew thing is serious, because you got people that's been sitting in the same seat for over 50 years. You'll be hearing, she sat in Miss Patty's pew like she don't fear God or the deacons. And if you don't understand this, that's a problem. That tells people everything they need to know. It tells them you probably don't understand small towns. And see, Miss Patty ain't gonna say nothing to you directly. She just gonna stand there with her Bible in one hand and her purse in the other, waiting for conviction to hit you. And if it don't, somebody behind her is gonna whisper, that's her seat. And now you gotta move in front of God and everybody else. And then you got people who don't know how to act when the preacher says, okay, I'll close with this. And they actually believe him. You'll see them start gathering their stuff, digging in their purse, keys in their hand. Baby, you might as well sit back down, because he's got at least 30 more minutes and 2 more closings in him. And everybody around you knows it too. Now you're looking around confused while everybody around you's just sitting back like it's halftime. So just know, if the preacher says he's wrapping up, he ain't. And then there's social behavior, which is really just basic manners. But you'd be surprised how many people don't have them. For example, the beauty shop. Now, the beauty shop ain't just a beauty shop. This is headquarters. This is City Hall with hairspray. You gotta speak to everybody in there. Now, this is where you find out who's sick, who's lying, who's pregnant, who got caught doing something they said they didn't do. You don't even need Facebook in a small town. You just need a chair under a dryer. And when you walk in there, you gotta speak to everybody. It don't matter if you know them or not. At least a, hey y'all. Because if you don't, every head in there will turn real slow, like you just walked in with a secret. She walked into the beauty shop and didn't speak to nobody, just sat down. And then she asked for the Wi-Fi password before she even spoke. She said, I got bad service. I said, you got bad manners too. And asking for the Wi-Fi password before speaking is crazy business. You done walked into somebody's place of business, ignored 6 women under a dryer, didn't say hey to nobody, didn't ask how nobody's mama was doing, but now you need the Wi-Fi password. Now, everybody's gonna think you ain't got no home training. And that Wi-Fi part might not even be true, but it'll get added to the story anyway. And see, the thing about a small town is everything happens in the same places. Church, football games, family functions. It ain't like you got a lot of options. It's the same people in the same places every single week. You see the same people at the ball field, then you see them at church, then you see them standing in line at the Mexican restaurant. So how you act gets remembered, and not just remembered, but replayed, retold, and probably slightly exaggerated. And see, small town events ain't even really optional. I mean, you don't have to go, but if you don't go, you better have a good reason. And football is huge. So let's talk about football. Football games are non-negotiable. You gotta be there, because that's basically church with snacks. You got the same seats, the same people sitting around you every week, and the same people yelling at the same refs at every game. He left the football game before the 4th quarter. I said, Lord, forgive him. He knows not what he's doing. That's what they'll say. Because you don't just leave early. You stay. You commit. You sit through the bad calls, all the missed passes, through somebody's uncle yelling, run the ball, like he played professional football. And if you don't, they'll notice that too. And skipping stuff completely, that's even worse. He skipped his cousin's baby shower, didn't even bring a gift, didn't drop off a candle, nothing. Oof, that's permanent. 'Cause now it ain't just that you didn't go, It's what that means. It means you don't show up. It means people can't count on you. It means you don't support. And Lord have mercy, that will follow you longer than you think. And here's the thing, it ain't really about the wave, about the eggs, about the sweet tea. It's what all of that means. In a small town, little stuff is big stuff because people are paying attention and you don't get a fresh start every day. You get remembered. So, if you ever find yourself in a small town, just watch. Watch what people do. Watch what gets a reaction. Watch what makes people look. Because I promise you, you might not know the rules, but everybody else does. And they're waiting to see if you do too. But I will say this, as much as we talk about it, as much as people gossip, as much as people remember every little thing, there really ain't nothing like a small town. Because, yeah, they might talk about you, but they'll also show up for you. You sick? They'll bring you food. You going through something? They're going to come check on you. You need help? Somebody's already on the way before you ever ask. And half the time, they knew you needed it before you did. And yeah, everyone might be in your business to some degree, but they care. And there's something about that that you just can't get everywhere else. So yeah, learn the rules, wave when you pass people, don't take the last of nothing, and for the love of everything, put some paprika on them deviled eggs. Because in a small town, you don't just live there, you belong there. And once you do, you wouldn't trade it for nothing else.